Alright, we are streaming. So we are now live from a bunker under the ground so the zombies cannot get at us. At least for now. They might smell the delicious scent of guns, nerds, and steel. We don't know. Hopefully we can keep it under wraps long enough for him to answer questions and talk with us. So, for now, GNS, welcome. And I am going to do something I never rarely do, is I'm going to turn it over to Bad Player for the questioning session. And
how's it going, everyone?
Hello.
Hello. Hola.
Welcome.
It's only appropriate that BP does all the work here because he's the server admin, he's the Discord admin, he's the heavy lifter around here.
Well, it's great because he doesn't do shit around here.
Easy now. Let me get to the questions.
How y'all doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah,
Just
great.
very cold.
Yes, it's very cold out. Jeez.
Oh, it's freezing here.
So I just wrapped up production on Borderline.
The final.
Yep, it's all done.
I've just seen your thumbnail. It's really good.
Don't give anything away.
Yeah,
Okay.
You guys probably might know more about like where the thumbnail came from because you're into like the modding community, but
Now, I'm sorry, I have to plead ignorance, but I've actually never seen anything on your channel. My buddy that I invited, like I said, he has searched out your channel and seen many of your videos and whatnot, because he's a load at work and whatnot. I kid, and I think usually. So what content do you create? I'll start that off while BP's looking over the questions.
sure, I do probably like 98% 7 Days to Die stuff right now, but that's gonna change really soon. So lately I've been branching out and doing sort of first look videos, and I want to get into like the broader survival games scene and sort of apply my skills and things I've learned over the course of covering 7 Days to Die and see if I can translate that to new games. Like Nightingale is probably the #1 game that I'm looking at, and Sons of the Forest being maybe #2, but also games like Ark and Pal World and some other games coming out next year.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah, definitely sounds quite interesting. I'm gonna have to pop over to your channel.
Your thumbnails are great. Those are so pretty.
Doing a new thing with the thumbnails these days. I'm doing Midjourney AI generated thumbnails.
Ah, okay. Got it. Yeah, I'm on that Discord. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Alright, either Karma or Naz, I'm gonna need you to find links to post with the video after Naz does his thing with the time frames, so people know what we're talking about. Or if you come up with a link sooner, you can always throw it into the Brain Drain live chat.
The GNS YouTube.
His YouTube and whatever
There's
else
that
might
one.
be relevant.
Sure. I'll throw him into the voice chat, and then Naz can pick him up if he needs to.
Alright.
Congrats on 61k subs as well.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Fine.
It's the milestones come very quickly these days, so I try not to dwell on them for too long.
Yeah, but
I don't want to be like, oh, hooray me, a 50k, and then like 2 months later, yeah, 60k, let's go.
I just posted in the Brain Drain live chat channel. I probably should just do it in here, but the new URL to our YouTube.
Someone should monitor the chat on the live stream too.
I think OBS does that, but I don't see anybody in there, or at least I don't see anybody chatting.
Someone
Well,
did.
it's
Someone
a
said.
good thing that I have a whole bunch of
hold on.
monitors to do this with now.
Maybe I hit the wrong.
All right, I've got that up now.
Maybe I had the
A whole
wrong
bunch.
activity.
Yeah, it says
Many.
Jim's 1973 says hello. Timurky's 30% louder than everybody else.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I could turn that down on my end.
All right.
You sound fine to me, so it's odd
Yeah.
that it's coming through so loudly over there. So maybe OBS is doing something funky.
Is that any better?
So quiet.
That's too low.
About halfway.
All right. I
That's
will.
good.
Yeah, you sound good.
Why?
Good.
All right. I'm not gonna mess with OBS at this point, but I
Yeah.
will pop over to the YouTube and keep an eye on that.
Like I said, well-oiled machine we are.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we got a whole bunch of people now.
I never claimed our production value was high. All right.
Very true.
Oh, why is that live not changed? I Pop changed over that. to the YouTube and keep an eye on that.
It's about like how my recording sessions go, like this, so just like constantly trying to get things straightened out, and then I fix it all in post, so it looks like semi-coherent in the end.
Do you ever record a segment or something and you've forgotten to turn your mic or your recording on, so you've just been talking to yourself?
Too often, man. It's terrible. Most recently, I was one of my videos in the last like week or two, I recorded the whole thing. Oh, I think it was like the 1 day, one motorcycle. I did a whole run on that, and like an hour and a half in, my hard drive filled up, and Streamlabs OBS won't encode your video if the hard drive fills. So it's just like, nah, this file doesn't work anymore. So I had to start all over again. It's like,
Oh,
great.
no.
I used to have so many corruption issues with NVIDIA Shadow Play. For some reason, it just doesn't like hard drives, and you can it works pretty much fine on SSDs, but I didn't want it to forever record and delete itself, record, delete, and use up all the rights. So I just made a RAM disk and do it through that.
I only use Shadowplay for a little bit, and supposedly there's a way to not really uninstall it, but make it so that it's not running all the time, because I think it uses up RAM.
Yeah.
It's just constantly going on in the background, I guess.
When the Windows 11, it's in Windows 10 as well, but it's easier to disable that game DVR, and it doesn't use hardware encoding; it uses the CPU. So if you use it, your performance will just get completely.
Oh, yeah.
scattered.
Be ready for the hard-hitting questions?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
How long have you been creating content for 7 days, and what's your favorite aspect of the game?
Ooh, aspect. Well, I've been playing 7 Days to Die since Alpha 19, and I've been making content it'll be 2 years in January. I never made any content for anything else. I just started right with like episode 1 in a Let's Play series for 7 days. My favorite aspect is editing, and specifically like the part where I get to put music in, which has been sort of a long evolution for me to learn how to do that properly. Because at first I used like just background music to fill the silence, and then I started realizing that was too much and it was distracting and it just didn't fit very well. And until now, it's trying to use like cinematic style music to kind of amplify the emotion of the scene, I guess.
Where do you get your music from?
Oh, good question. So my number one right now is White Bat Audio on YouTube. I love that music. It's like industrial synth, I don't know, just ambient type of music, cyberpunk kind of stuff. So that's all like free, and you just have to say like,
Gotcha.
credit. Yeah, exactly. So that's easy. And then Epidemic Sound is number 2, and then I use Motion Array for a lot of like the title music and cinematic stuff. But I get a lot of like copyright strikes on stuff that I get from Motion Array, so I really it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Not copyright strikes, but like, warnings or whatever they call them.
Got it.
I used to make my own music, and they send warnings to me too. There's always weird thieves on YouTube that try and steal stuff.
Yeah. Luckily, they have like a good disputing system that usually works out.
Oh, That's good.
But like the intro for Undead Legacy, for example, like that was good to go. And then like the day before Undead Legacy premiered, I got a copyright notification and then they denied my dispute. So I had to like rework the intro last second.
Mm.
Have you had any trouble with the Facebook thieves?
I'm not on Facebook, so maybe. What's this all about?
It's supposed to be an issue where there's people on Facebook that will steal content from YouTube, upload it to Facebook, and they get 10 times the viewership, all that ad revenue, and Facebook will drag their heels on taking action until the video's gotten the majority of the views it's going to get, and then they'll close it. Because then Facebook gets all the money.
Oh wow,
Something to look into.
it's kind of scary.
Sorry to interrupt. When you said wipe up music, what was the next one?
What's the what?
You said wipe up music, and then you mentioned another music source. What was it?
Oh, Epidemic Sound and Motion Array.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, next question. What do's and don'ts would you recommend for other players, streamers?
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm the best person to give advice, but for what it's worth, I would say let's start with the don'ts. So you said streamers too, right? So
Yeah, players.
I'm
or
not
streamers.
big into the streaming scene, but I would say if you're going to be a streamer and you're going to do like face cam, you should make sure that your face cam is adding to the viewer's experience. Because if you go on Twitch and stuff and you see a lot of people using face cam and it's like dark or it's too small or the lighting's not good or I don't know, the person's like not wearing a shirt or in a bad way,
Mm.
you don't want your camera to like take away from the experience. So if you're gonna do face cam, make it presentable. Get a good camera. If you're gonna do green screen, that's great. If you're not gonna do green screen, like I don't, I have a background that's like well lit and decorated, and I feel like it doesn't take away from the experience. And also a don't for for content creators like YouTubers. You see a lot of people that are like on Twitter and they're unhappy about not getting views and their channel is kind of not growing the way that they probably want it to grow. They're not getting the views that they want. But then again, they're still like cranking out the same content day after day. It's like, if you're doing a Let's Play series, they're on like episode 50. Like, nothing's going to change if you just keep cranking out the same stuff. So if you're not happy with what's going on and how your channel is performing, you've got to like reinvent it and change it and do something different and maybe get away from that Let's Play series stuff. So that would be my don'ts. My do's, if you want to be, I guess, there's like two types too. Like, are you going to be a streamer or a YouTuber for fun, or you're going to do it and you want to be big, you want to do this as a career? And that was kind of like more what I wanted to do. I wanted to get into it very quickly and take it very seriously and turn it into a business. And so if you're in the latter group and you want to taking it very seriously, then you need to study and have other YouTubers that you model your channel after. Like, I follow other YouTubers like, I don't know, like Booster and Neebs Gaming and Scrapman and just people that are very successful that have like a proven track record. They have a proven model for success. And I'm like watching, how are they doing their thumbnails? What's their upload schedule? What type of content are they doing? How are they doing their transitions, their intro, their outro? What are they doing on social media? And I'm constantly tracking all of this stuff. So you have to have someone that you kind of watch like that, I think, and then practice. You're always going to try new things. Don't just do the same video over and over and over again. Try different thumbnails, different transitions, intro art, dialogue style, whether you're recording in post and doing voiceovers. Always focus, like, every time you do a new video on trying some new strategy, because you need to develop yourself as an editor too and like get that skill set.
So we
one
have
major.
Go ahead.
One major. Go ahead.
Go ahead, OC.
It's all you, BP. Or, sorry, I don't know who's talking right now.
Go, OC.
I was just gonna say, do the rules of your do's and don'ts change depending on the platform? Like if it's YouTube versus Twitch.
I don't know much about Twitch. I mean, I have a Twitch account, but I've never streamed on there. I would say probably yes, though. I mean, the way these, I mean, it's all, you're fighting an algorithm, right? So you have like part of it's a game, right? Like just like you know, 7 Days to Die, you have to learn the rules of the game, and the YouTube game and the Twitch game, like there are rules. It's just a computer. It's a code that you have to beat. There's a formula there, and none of us really know how to beat it, but we find our own kind of ways, right? That's just my observation, I guess. Like doing the same thing, you're not gonna win over like an algorithm by just working hard, right? You gotta work smart too.
Mhm.
Do they give you kind of a upfront idea of changes to the algorithm, or is it wild?
No, I have no idea how that works, other than just observation. If you figure anything out, though, let me know.
I assume that you get a lot of stats back on, like, when your videos are posted. I haven't posted stuff like that, so I don't really know for sure. But oftentimes they have stats like, you posted this here. This is when you saw the most engagement. This is where it dropped off. Do you use that a lot to when you're going forward on what type of content you post?
Absolutely, yeah. Analytics are very important to figure out what's working and what's not working. I mean, the two big ones are probably like your impressions number, which is how much
Mhm.
YouTube is showing it to new people, and your click-through rate, how many people are like clicking on the video when they see it. So those are
Mhm.
very important in figuring out, are your thumbnail and title working? But also there's other stats like how many of your notification gang are clicking on your video, how many of your subscribers are clicking on your video, how many new viewers are being shown your video, people that are like have not seen your channel before, and how many of them are clicking through. So like if, for example, I do two broad categories of content with let's play videos, and then like kind of one-off tutorials, tips and tricks, and game news, and blah blah blah. So the the latter group there, like the game news and tips and tricks, that's what's going to bring in all those new viewers. It has a high click-through rate. It might not have as much click-through rate with your subscribers, but it has really good outreach to new viewers. But if you just do your let's play stuff, like what we're on, like what are we on, episode 30 something of Borderline? There's no viewers, no new viewers on that video. Like no one's watching episode 30 something for the their first video. So
Mhm.
so you just have to recognize that, and it kind of brings down your channel. You see a lot of YouTubers that try to, they don't do YouTube series, let's play series that go on forever, right? One of the criticisms you get sometimes is like, why are you stopping right now? Or why are you cranking up the XP and stuff like that? Well, because we want to kind of get to the end of it so we can start something new. I don't want a let's play series that goes on for 6 months.
Mhm.
So I see in the YouTube chat, Ms. Lunacy has a question. Do you prefer mods or vanilla?
That's a great question, because I think vanilla gets a bad reputation, and I actually do enjoy playing vanilla, but there are like some just little quality of life tweaks that I do like to have. Like, I like playing with a different UI sometimes, and um, I can't really live without um, the like altering the zombie spawns, because vanilla just doesn't have enough zombies for me. And I think that's more of a performance thing. Like they didn't want to make it bad for everyone, but for me, I'm like, crank it up to 64 zombies. I want massive wandering hordes. I want more ambient zombies. So there's a couple things that I like to mod. But with that said, I do probably mostly modded content, and I do like mods up into an extent, because like sometimes you're doing like a new mod and then another new mod and then another new mod, and you're just trying to like constantly trying to learn how to play it instead of like enjoying being a pro at it, you know?
Right. So, follow-up question with the mods. Do you have a favorite mod, like an overall or what we call a modlet, which is just like a small quality of life improvement? Do you have a favorite among
My
them?
my favorite overhaul mod is Undead Legacy, and probably closely followed by Darkness Falls. I do enjoy both of them. And modlet. Let me look at my modlets right now because I'm probably playing with my favorite.
Yeah, I know Kane is a part
Segment.
of this Discord, and I've talked to Kane for years, and I poke his brain whenever I get stuck on something. When I'm working on mods for my private server. Well, it's not really private, just the one me and my friends play on that's open, but nobody ever tends to join. So I've been playing since Alpha 14.7 and been running servers since then too. So the game from when I've started playing to now has, it's like night and day.
Transformed.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like having, large zombie hordes, in the street, in the wilderness. Well, they used to have that. They used to not all be hidden in buildings. You would have zombies like you see in the movies just wandering around the world, which I kind of miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need, one of the glitches in the game is that zombies tend to have like, 1,000-foot reach when they attack you when they spawn. So, but then again, this game is still an alpha and it is only optimized enough to play. So once they get through the Alpha 21 release and fixes for that, and then they do the 22, I think beta is next. At least that's what the rumors are. And then beta is
Seems
when
like it.
that's when they'll hit all their optimizations.
We can only hope.
Yes, because I run some decent hardware for the server, so I would like to have those lots of zombies
Yeah.
without the machine choking.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's the game, not the machine.
What if it's the AI that it's just too complex or something?
Combination. We've looked at the code a few times. They use some net packages that basically fire off every tick. So there's a couple of them that are going off way too often, and then it sends it through the network, which is why a lot of the servers are running terabytes a month of data instead of something reasonable.
Wow.
Yeah, some of these things, like a turret, just changing its sound, fires off sometimes 80 times a second. It doesn't even make sense. It's so overboard. There's no optimization, just nothing. I don't think they've done any when it comes to the netcode. They've just ignored it. It's a big problem, actually, because it's kind of the backbone of part of the multiplayer. It's one of the reasons multiplayer has been suffering, and people can't host over 20 players. They haven't really focused on the core.
Well, you say over 20 players. Well, here's the thing, though. The game, when it first came out, was designed for 8-player co-op. That was TFP's vision. So you have to take their vision into account. Like, 20 players. We're lucky we can get 20 players.
Yeah, they're
Valheim
not really
limits you to
designing for
10.
big servers, and I think that's impacting everything.
Yeah.
The way they test it, the way they code it, it's a big thing.
Well,
And most servers want more. Like, they're asking for too much at this point.
Right. Now, maybe 7 Days to Die 2 if they make that. But I did hear rumors that they might look into supporting up to 16 players.
Yep.
As a standard.
They're working on that.
So if they can get up to 16, maybe we can get up to 30 or 32 without bottlenecking. Once optimizations are in. Miss Lunacy has a follow-up. What is your number one wish they would fix this thing in 7 days?
Front side posts. My vanity gets the better of me sometimes. I can't stand the crooked front side post right now.
Oh, on weapons.
Yeah, like the Magnum, how it's actually like angled up when you look down the sight. Like I wanna look directly down the sight like you would in real life. Not like
Right.
cant the gun upward at like a 10-degree angle.
Go ahead, Libby. Is that Libby or is that Z-Dark?
No, that would be me.
It's you. Go ahead, Carmen.
No, I was just commenting that you're aiming from the hip. That's why it looks like it's going up.
Yeah.
But you're badass.
Can I ask you a question about these optimization problems you've been mentioning about multiplayer and things? How much of that is based around Unity itself?
Are you asking me?
I know nothing
Yeah, I
about
guess.
this, so.
It was just saying like the problems with the coding and that are these also limitations of Unity?
There's a combination of things. So Unity's a little bit more complex than on some of the pre-made engines, where if you don't have experience knowing how to use the netcode around it, or things like garbage collection, it basically becomes redundant. It's almost like you're compiling a whole bunch of stuff with useless code in the background that you're not utilizing. So they've gone and remade a lot of things themselves from scratch that don't function very well. It's like their first go at it. They wrote their own garbage collection, for instance. Unity has a integrated one that is it basically takes track of things like the class system. I don't know if you're a coder, but it takes note of things written internally and cleans it up for you. And it does this incrementally. So it doesn't impact your server with one big lump sum of dumping old code or obsolete stuff not in use anymore. Whereas this game right now, the garbage collection is so bad, we went through the code and found there's a whole bunch of references that don't get cleaned up. This is why servers are having trouble after, say, 4 hours, or things start to bottleneck for no reason. It's because there's a bunch of things in the code that don't get cleaned up properly. This is something they're going to address, I'm sure, during optimization, but it should have been really addressed all the way through. It's not something you normally ignore like this, because all the impacts they're having, like say server count for zombies or AI impact, everything's getting reduced or impacted right from the get-go. So this is where I say they're kind of building on. I don't want to call it a bad system, but if you don't do it right the first time, you're going back and fixing things, and then suddenly they're going to go, wait, we can ramp up the zombies now to 100. If we'd done this right the first time, that changes the whole game. It changes the way they can make the content, the interaction with them. So it's kind of a problem. I don't know why they haven't really addressed this, but anyway, to address what you're really saying there, though, is it Unity? A little bit. There's a threading problem with Unity. If you don't know how to code for the threading, which unfortunately they didn't seem to, it bottlenecks, yeah. You end up with everything running on one core, 1 or 2 cores, which is exactly why this game runs better on basically a single processor at a really high megahertz, rather than dual cores. Like Threadripper should run through this no problem, and they don't. They actually get really impacted at the 20-person point. So I think a lot of people are running hosts right now. They are running Threadrippers or things with multi-CPU and cores, but they're lower megahertz. Especially if you're on a host, they split this stuff up. And so the game's getting impacted heavily just from this lack of optimization.
Yeah, okay. That actually makes a lot of sense. I also realised that this is for GNS, so I will stop asking such questions. I do apologise.
No, that's good. I like being informed on this too.
He's learning.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And for those of us who are new or haven't caught our show before, OC is the developer for the admin side mod server tools. So if anybody out there uses it, you should know who he is. If you don't, and you're you run your own server or an admin, server tools helps with a lot of everything.
Management.
Everything.
Yeah.
What would you like the Fun Pimps to add or remove from 7 days?
Remove. I don't know if there's anything that should be removed. I'll have to think about that more. But add. So I was thinking recently that one of the things that would make Horde Night a lot funner, because Horde Night has just, for me, turned into. It's like not like a cheese fest. Like I'm not trying to like cheat or abuse the AI. It's just like there's really just one way to do it, right? You want to build an elevated base. Let's say you're facing 30 to 60 zombies, you got to build the elevated base with a causeway leading up to a fighting position, and then that's pretty much how it's done, right?
Oh, that's where my buddy got that idea from. He stole it from you.
So that's like, the meta right now. And they've added like rage mode. When the zombie falls down, they'll start beating supports for a little bit. But what if, like, instead of having 100% of the zombies have this like AI where they know exactly like how to get to you and they only do one thing and it's easy to predict. If they could just have like a variety of different AI sets where some zombies are really stupid and they just want to like come up to your base and start breaking blocks randomly, or some of them want to dig, or some of them want to climb. Kind of like Walking Dead, how they have like variant zombies that have like they're smarter, whereas the rest of them are just stupid. So that would make you have to think twice about how you're building your base and try to defend against a multitude of different angles of approach.
For anybody who's watched Z Nation, they have a super variety of different kinds of reactions from zombies, and I think that would be great inspiration for anybody who wanted to make their own mods.
Oh, is that something you could mod, like the AI?
Sure, why not? I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
That'd be nice.
the AI is hard coded, so if you're going to mod that, it would probably have to be some type of overhaul with a DLL.
Oh yeah.
So it's not something you can do with the XML. That requires some C# coding, but they have gotten better with the zombie AI. TFP did hire someone who actually knew what they were doing for AI, and I think that person is also working on the bandits that I'm hoping are coming in A21. But yeah, anything's possible. We have Alok and Prime, or Alec and Prime, to thank a lot for the modder side for getting things integrated to make it easier to mod. So
Yeah.
those
and
two.
the Twitch stuff, you can utilize that type of coding to get some interesting effects as well.
We good for the next question?
Sure.
What equipment do you recommend for people who want to be content creators?
The first thing is a good microphone. I think that will go a long way. If you're gonna spend money initially to start up, like, don't get that $40 Amazon microphone. Like, save up until you can get the one microphone that you're gonna use like forever. So for me, that's the Shure SM7B, but there are plenty of other options out there. But I'm on my third microphone, so I've definitely wasted some money along the way, and I wish I had just ponied up and bought the good one to start off with. Audio quality is like I was saying before, you don't want to do things that detract or make your video distracting. You don't want people to be thinking about, wow, this audio quality is terrible. I'm hearing background noise, there's crackles, there's echo, whatever. So yeah, definitely a microphone. And if you're going to be like on camera, a good camera, don't use a web camera, don't use a headset mic, things like that. I mean, like I said before as well, if you're taking it seriously, you've got to put like some sort of an initial investment into this. But if you're just, casual, then of course, who cares, right?
And you sound great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely an effort to learn like the settings on it too. So it's not just about like, oh, plug and play microphone. So, you got to learn filters and stuff like that.
What microphone do you use?
The SM7B.
Now, hopefully, they'll send you some cash for promotion.
There you go.
That'd be nice.
Here's the new, SM7C.
They do have.
This is the one that like most content creators use, I think. If you like, I don't know, watch like Markiplier, like he's got one in front of him, so.
It's a pretty popular microphone.
Can I just ask you, Tim, what made you want to be a YouTuber? Was it a creative side of you or
Jealousy.
jealousy?
Of all things, yeah. So, I mean, we all probably consume some level of YouTube, and for me, it's my nightly thing. Like, I lay in bed for an hour and I watch some YouTube before bed. It's just, I don't watch TV. I watch some Netflix and stuff like that. But for the most part, like, my entertainment's coming from YouTube, and it still is. And not only that, but it's like, so educational. Like I'm a woodworker and I learned almost everything I know about woodworking from YouTube. So I got like tremendous value there. And then just seeing how people were so successful and they were like doing it for a job, and here I am like back in like I was in college for a while and then working professionally, and not working for myself, in other words, working for other people and working hard. And I'm like, it would be just such a dream to be a YouTuber, but I never thought that I had like the right type of personality for it. I didn't know anything about editing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I went to this like leadership conference, and this is where it all kind of changed for me. So my boss drugged me to like one of those cringy, the way I describe it is like the "you're going to be successful" and "you're going to be successful" like guy up on stage, just clearly. It's just there's something about those things, they're just so bad. But anyway, I went to one, and the one thing that like stuck with me that was taught by this like guru guy was you don't want to look back on yourself today, like don't let your future self look back on today and regret not starting whatever project or doing whatever you've always wanted to do. Like just don't delay, just start doing what you're doing. If you fail, whatever. If you succeed, then more power to you. So that's what I did, and then 2 years later, here we are.
Who's your favorite
Excellent.
woodworker?
Oh, good question. What is his name?
I love woodworking videos too. They're fun.
Oh, I'd have to look it up. I don't know the name. I don't know his name. It's on my other YouTube
Mark
channel.
Spagnuolo,
What?
the Wood Whisperer. I watched him quite a
Oh,
bit.
cool.
Oh yeah, I watched him too.
Okay, so
Jack and Work is also fun. So
all right, so the names Guns, Nerds, and Steel, or Guns, Nerds, Steel. How did you come up with that?
Oh yeah, so someone's asked me this before. It comes from Guns, Germs, and Steel, which is a book. So I don't know how I landed on that, but I didn't want to be like, Temreki Gaming or like GNS Gaming or something like that, because I just thought that was a little bit cliche.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted like my name, like my player name, my handle, to be separate from my channel name. I also follow a YouTuber called Many a True Nerd, and he does the same thing. Like his name's John, but his channel is Many a True Nerd, and I liked that kind of separation, so I had to come up with some other name, and I thought Guns, Nerds, and Steel exemplified like what I wanted to do on my channel. Like Steel is for building, Nerds is for like game deep dives, tutorials, and then Guns is just for like the action part of it. So that's the best I got.
Yeah. I was hoping, when I heard your name, Guns, Nerds, Steel, I'm like, does he do videos about guns too? I love guns, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll pop on over.
Do you think it's necessary to have a script or an editor, and do you narrate on the fly or in post production?
I would love it if I had an editor, but I could never relinquish that kind of control over my videos, because my editing is in many ways, I think, my identity. It's what people come to my channel for. So giving that over to someone, I just don't see how it would work. I mean, I've been working a lot with artists recently to kind of update a lot of the channel art and try to work on, I've been trying to like hire a thumbnail artist, but everything falls short, because when you hire someone, especially for like commission work, they just want to like do the gig and then they're on to the next one. So they're not going to put the effort into what you want that I would put into, my work, right? Like I had taken my finale that I just edited. I edited all day yesterday and like for 3 hours this morning. Now, so like maybe 10 hours of editing. Now if I hire someone, are they going to do 10 hours of work on that? Probably not. They're going to do like 2 or 3. They're going to throw it together and then that's it. So no, I don't think that an editor is necessary. I think that you need, even if you want to hire an editor eventually, you still need to be a good editor, because how are you going to know how well they're doing or what you want in an editor if you don't know how to do it yourself? So there's that. And then script writing, like I script out a lot of my videos, but like my Let's Play stuff, that's all live recording. Pretty much every other video though has some element of scripting to it. Like, my top 5 Base's video was almost entirely scripted, but then the live action stuff was like live recorded. So I guess there's just a mixture there, and it's a good skill set to have to be able to integrate both and go back and forth. And by no means am I an expert at it, still practicing.
Do you narrate on the fly or in post?
On the fly for like the live action content, and then in post sometimes, like rarely, I'll redo a scene. Like if my microphone cut out for a second, I'll I'll act it out.
Right, redo it.
Yeah.
What do you wish you had known when you started? What hidden bit of advice would you want to share?
God, I should make like an advice video. Maybe I'll do that someday.
Yes.
I wish that I had known more about YouTube when I started, but like, how YouTube channels work is so unique to your channel that even if I like shared advice on like how my YouTube channel works, it doesn't necessarily translate to another person's. But just the way that like where your subscribers come from and what types of content, because a lot of YouTubers, if you go on Twitter, you see a lot of people complaining that when they do a different type of game than the typical game that they do, that they don't see as many views, or views are fluctuating for them and they don't know why. I mean, there are reasons for all those things, and it takes a lot of experience to kind of figure out why and what's going on and how the algorithm is working for you or against you. And I wish I would have known just how easy it is to kind of pigeonhole yourself into a bad position, or a position that you don't want to be in, because you don't want to be in a position in my case, I don't want to be in a position where I have to do 7 Days to Die content forever, because this game's going to die eventually. It might have a couple more years left in it, but there will need to be a transition period now. 'Cause this is a full-time job for me now, so I need to have like an exit strategy. And I think initially I really leaned into the 7 Days to Die content, and I made it more difficult for myself now on the back end to get out of that, because I have 61,000 subscribers that are here for 7 Days to Die content. I don't have very many people that are here for variety gaming content. So when I start doing more of that, it might be hard. It might not be. I don't know, but I wish I had a better understanding of how that all worked.
Well, at least the game goes through alphas so slowly that.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, take a couple more months so I can finish out the series.
The
I
fact
think
that
like you were saying, going to trying out different survival games as well. That's a good way to ease the current audience into a slightly different form of content, but familiar enough that they'd still engage with it.
Right. It's a challenge. Like I did one video on Vane, 200,000 views, very successful. I did one video on RimWorld. I got like less than half of my normal views on it. So like YouTube can be really finicky like that, and sometimes you're lucky, I guess, and sometimes you just gotta like go with the flow of things.
Sorry, I was taking.
Was there a part 2 of that? I forgot. Hidden bit of advice.
Yeah, hidden bit of advice would you share?
Well, I think the pigeonholing one kind of answered that.
Yeah, hidden bit of advice is like,
it's not
a lot of people want to be a lot of people want to be streamers. A lot of people want to be content creators, and the way to do that is not let's play videos. That's all I'll say about that. You've got to do other content that attracts in new viewers, because let's play content, the only video in a let's play series that's appealing to an outside audience or a new person to your channel is episode 1. After episode 1, it's the only people that you're satisfying are people that are already there and subscribed and like have committed however many hours to watching you play.
Right. After the 7 Days to Die Has Problems video, what changes coming in Alpha 21 do you like, and which ones are you not liking?
I don't know that there's any that I don't like yet. I mean, there's some that I kind of don't like the sound of so far, like the murky water thing, but I'll reserve judgment until I get to play it. I'm not going to sit here and complain about something I've never seen or dealt with, but I'm looking forward to the most is the water change because I have some really cool water-based base designs that I want to try out. So I'm really hoping that that works as predicted, I guess I would say. Like, it just doesn't sit in the middle of the air like it does right now.
All right. When did you start playing 7 Days to Die?
I think
think
it
you
went on
kinda
sale
answered
right
this
after
earlier.
Alpha 19, so that's when I started.
Right.
It was on my
Uh,
wish list for like years, but you know how it is.
Right.
Oh yeah.
What's been your favorite alpha, and which alphas have you played? Because you can go back and play them in Steam, I believe.
Oh, yeah, you can. I've never done that before though, so I guess 19 and 20 is my only experience, and I'd say 20 is my favorite over 19. And that's just because of all the new POIs, the cities, the city tiles, the random world gen stuff like that. Although I really miss being able to use King Gen back in Alpha 19. I don't even know if that's still working, but
It is not working.
yeah.
But Pele is working on Terragon, and
I've been following that. I haven't heard any news recently though.
he is working on roads. He is in Guppy's modding Discord. He has his own channel. Let me just pop over there real quick. Let's see. He was just asking about POIs, but yeah, he's working on roads and bridges. Like there's a screenshot where it generated the road and say it looks like it's maybe 10 meters wide, 10 blocks wide, but the bridge is only, or maybe like 6 blocks wide, the bridge is only 3. So he's still working out kinks, but I know he said he's getting close.
Oh, nice.
So I'm waiting for that as well as a bunch of other people. I use King Gen, and before that was
Nitro.
yes, Nitro.
Yeah.
And because I like having a little bit of control over the map generation, and the fact that it takes 3 minutes to do like an 8K map versus 10-ish, and then uploading it to the server. Is much better because then you can generate like a dozen maps and figure out which one you like the best in a matter of like a half hour versus, shit, there went my day.
All afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that is being worked on. I know he had to take a break for a while because of real life obligations, but he is working on it as he can.
That'd be awesome because there's like series ideas that I have that I could like make a series around a certain map style.
Hell, you can make a
Right.
series about playing an older alpha too. If you wanted to go that way, because you haven't played them before, it'd be a new experience.
I thought about doing like first 7 days in Alpha 16 or something like that. We'll see.
Alpha 8.
We can go.
Does it
pretty
go
far
back that far? I mean,
Oh, you can go pretty far back.
I will check.
I think
I
it's
played
like
the
8
first
or 9
alpha a
is the
little
first
while
one.
ago.
yikes.
Between
It
all
look-
of us, we
it
can
looks so
find
bad.
files pretty far. Oh god. I've been playing.
Steam goes back to Alpha 10.4.
Alpha 10, yeah.
No, there we go. So, half the alphas ago.
I'm sorry. Correction. 4.3.8. No, 1.6.
But
Almost
does
back
it work
to the
though?
beginning.
That's the problem.
It'll play.
Don't add mods.
I did a retro thing where back to wherever the zombies were, the hornets.
I
I
hate
can't remember if that
Hornets.
was 8 or so. Oh, I miss the hornets. They're fun.
No.
So I
hate
did
them.
a retro video for the combo pack on April Fool's Day.
I hate the Hornets.
Ooh, April Fools. That's a good
Mhm.
little bit of inspiration for me.
Yeah, it was
You,
fun.
you could do an 7 Days to Die comes out of alpha video.
He might be dead by then. I might be dead by then.
I'm getting my planner out and writing some of this stuff down.
Things you were sad that were removed.
What was removed in Alpha 20? Anything?
Oh,
I don't.
had to be something.
They might have just changed.
Farming
stuff.
was
The
changed.
blunderbuss.
No, they changed the silencers. That's terrible. I hate the new like rustic firearms feel. I want like modern looking weapons.
Oh, like the pipe weapons they added.
No, I like the pipe weapons, but like when you put a silencer on an SMG, it's a Mega Crush can. Like I wish there was like a pipe weapon mod, and then there's like a real weapon mod. So there's like a homemade rustic weapons mod that, let's say, you don't need the schematic to make it, but it's not as effective as the real good one, which you do need to find a schematic for or purchase from the trader or whatever.
Oh, that can be modded in. Not by me, but by someone a little bit more qualified.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think his pre-built did a video on that actually the other day, didn't he? Some good mods that add like real life looking guns in.
Oh, really? I use the DLX weapons fix, which is a good one.
There hasn't really been any weapon mods recently.
I think the DLX one is probably the best.
Right.
So,
Go ahead, Spec.
so we kind of got off topic on the other topics, but your favorite modlet, would that be it with that one?
Oh yeah, I was looking at my thing. So Kane's lockable inventory slots is like I cannot play without that. So that has to be my favorite, even though it's like not really a modlet. It's like a vanilla thing that's been unlocked, but still.
Well, Kane with Darkness Falls rewrote the whole progression XML, so I won't be surprised. It's not really vanilla, but he likes to make things more challenging. As like us people who've been playing it for a long time prefer the challenge of the olden days compared to what they're doing now, which is like, all right, 28, 30 hours. It seems a little bit easier in some aspects of the game.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah, that's my big focus on like playthroughs now is I've got to make it more like difficult enough so that like just playing naturally, there's challenge there. Because if I'm just playing like, I mean, you can play Insane Nightmare, but it's just not the same. I like having like more volume of zombies or zombies with special abilities, or like currently I'm playing with the S-Core Fire mod, which adds some challenge and some excitement, some drama. They said in the interview that I did with them that they want to make a lot of things slider based or like option based, so you could like increase the difficulty and kind of customize your playthrough with just like your game settings basically.
And
so maybe there's like a button for fire or whatnot.
And by them you're referring to
Rick and Joel.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did hear that you did interview them a few weeks ago or a month ago, something about then.
Yep. Yeah, October, I think.
That might have been what kind of inspired us to do this.
Right.
I saw that. I'm like, wait a second. I think we know somebody who knows them.
Nope.
Not
Yeah, there were parts of that interview that were just like, us conversing. So like, maybe I have a little bit more insight than what I revealed in the video, but like nothing significant.
Well, we have a few QA testers in the Discord. So, I know it's limited to what you can talk about. Like, oh, well, we're just chatting, so it's off the record, because Manmole went from sharing everything to sharing nothing. And he did not find a happy medium. Because I enjoyed watching the older videos, like, oh, well, we're trying to work on this, we're trying to work on that. And then, people got upset is because they couldn't figure out how to do it. And what most people might not realize is they were just a bunch of modders that came together to form a dev team. So they didn't have the experience at the time when they started.
Well, they made a video before 7 days, or they made a video game before 7 days.
TFP did?
Yeah, but it was for Facebook, so completely different.
It was still, they had some experience. I've seen videos of it.
Well, wait a minute. Making something for Facebook is a little bit different than making a full.
No, this was a full-on. This was a published game. I for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. But there was something. Mad Mole definitely has experience in a video game because, like, if you look at it, there's some assets that are very reminiscent of what is in the game currently.
But Mad Mole is graphic designer.
Sure.
He does pretty things. I don't know how
I
well
mean,
he can code.
so am I.
But no, he there was definitely a video game that came out. It was some kind of spy assassin something or other.
All right, Karma, your mission, whether you choose to accept it or not, is not a final. We want a link.
Who told me?
Get it.
What about the video Fuba streamed on Twitch about game events and stuff?
I loved that one.
We need a link for that one too.
If someone missed it, it should be still on this YouTube Twitch channel available.
He did a workshop for us modders, so that way he could explain all the new features coming to game events in A21, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how I learned about the Shift F6 Twitch command menu that I had no idea was there.
So much easier to test anything where you need to fight zombies by using one of those vote hordes, because then you get a real sense of how well the weapon does against a horde.
Something that you were happy they added or changed in Alpha 20.
In Alpha 20? I'm happy that they're like updating all the zombie models. I'll put it that way. Like Jiggle Tech, I like that. Although I've noticed that in doing my zombie mod, that a lot of the zombies that have Jiggle Tech, they either don't spawn or they don't spawn very often in Horde Night. So I'm wondering if there's like a performance thing there that they're trying to limit that.
That or it could be game stage too.
No, like for example, the burning zombie.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't spawn in Horde Night, which I'm not sure if that's a lighting thing that might be a little bit taxing if he shows up too much, or and also the lab tech zombie with the jiggly hand, she doesn't show up in Horde Night. I don't think the stripper does, or does she?
It's now the party girl.
Party girl.
Yeah, I don't remember when they took out the stripper, but they did have a topless zombie stripper.
Yeah, with the tattoo.
Well, they took that out because that would be a lot of censoring on the channel.
Well, back in A15 or A16, I remember I was very active on the forums, and someone was like, well, I play this with my 8-year-old kid. Can you take out the zombie stripper? And I'm like, dude, this is a mature rated game. It's great that you want to spend time with your kid to play this, but how entitled are you to ask the developer of a game to take something out because you don't like it? Because you're allowing your 8-year-old to play it. Mature rated game. Violence. Death. And that actually, when Mambo was still doing the videos, he kind of brought that up. He didn't say me by name, unfortunately, but he's like, yeah, someone's like, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, that's right. It's their game, As much as we want to provide our input, and TFP does listen, they don't use everything, but they do listen. It's like, well, who are you to change what our vision is? So, it stayed in, and then eventually they did change it a couple alphas later. But then I think that change comes more to the mass marketing of, well, we want new players, it's a business, we need to change some things around, which I totally get. But it kind of peeved me that someone's like, I let my young child play this mature rated game and I don't like this, so I want you to take it out. That kind of got under my skin a little bit on that.
Yeah, I got a YouTube age restriction on one of my Undead Legacy videos relatively recently too, because there were like too many decapitations on it. It's like, really?
Who did they pay to count them?
Right?
Yeah.
I also got that age restriction on the top 10 survival games, like literally just showing off game trailers from other YouTube channels, and like game hits trending on YouTube, bam, age restriction. Great.
Yeah, I have our YouTube channel marked as not safe for work, and I think maybe 18 plus because I curse like a sailor. So I don't need, if you have like a teenager, coming in watching the videos trying to learn some stuff, and you have me dropping the F bomb, and then their mother decides to come in, and they're like, "What are you watching?" You know, it's just more for language than anything else, not really content.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that would affect searches and whatnot. I'm not sure. You're the
Yeah,
YouTube guy.
Can I just add, if the fun pimps do listen, for the love of God, more colours in the editor, please. I'm crying here.
They don't listen to us. They don't listen to us. I'm sure as
Nice.
much as I've picked on Joel in some of these, that I probably would have got a message on the forums or something. I used to give them a lot of slack, but now it's, the game's almost 10 years in, and it's like, come on, guys.
You say that now, but may discover this one day. You have posted it on YouTube. He'll go back and start posting for you.
Who?
Or Joel or Nathan, somebody that they'll go and watch your YouTube videos later and go, hey.
Well, my email's always open. The Discord's open. They can come join if they want to have a conversation.
Also, to add to the things you were happy that they added or changed, I bet you the new cities in Random Gen.
Oh yeah, gotta love the cities now, except for the frame rate.
Right.
Optimization.
Which I think someone had mentioned that they were one of the developers that maybe made that better, not fixed it, but made it better.
Yeah, because they replaced the windows. Yeah.
So
I guess they're right.
We get it.
Well, somebody modded that, and I tried it. It does improve your FPS in cities.
Nice. Where do you get your content video ideas from? Viewers, other content videos?
Yeah, I would say I have a good pulse on pretty much everyone that does YouTube videos on 7 Days to Die. Like that's what I do a lot of. I guess you'd call it research. It's just part of the process of knowing what other people are doing, just so I'd have a better idea of understanding if what I'm doing is right, or am I copying people, or do I need to start copying people, or like for example, the one day, one motorcycle where I got my motorcycle in the first 24 hours, that was based off of a very small YouTuber. And so I watched his video and I'm like, wow, I could make a video on that and do my own twist on it as well, not just like ripping it,
Yeah, but you also gave credit to him in your videos, so that was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't, like, I'm not here to steal or, if anything, I'm here to kind of like help out the little guys, because there was a time when when Alpha 20 came out and I was graced by the Fun Pimps of having my video published in their patch notes, which was like very, very helpful for the channel. And I felt guilty when that happened because there were so many other people putting a lot of work into the game that didn't have the spotlight put on them, kind of like I thought I had. So I have tried to make it a part of like my identity, I guess, to kind of help out smaller YouTubers if I can, whether that's kind of tweeting about them or showing up to their live stream real quick and just saying hi, or commenting on videos and things like that.
How much negative feedback do you get?
Ooh, that's a good question. Very little, but it's like you'll have 99 comments that are just great, and then you'll have that one that's just so toxic that it ruins your day. So I'm not without negative feedback, and fortunately, a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever heard the advice from Glock 9. It's what I put in the 7 Days to Die Has Problems video, but like you need to take the negative feedback seriously and really kind of like reflect on what that person might be upset about and see if there's something that you can make better and grow from that. So there's that, but then there's also just like, nitpicky people in the comments that are, cruel or rude in how they come across. So yeah. How much do I get? Very little, but it's like the vocal minority sometimes.
Well, you know what you know what they say, you know, they find the dumbest people to put on TV. You know, it's like, oh, well, you know, that our tornado came through the trailer park, but, you know, I just got my case of Bush, and I wasn't going to go anywhere. You know, that wasn't going to come from my trailer. You know, they just try and find the most, you know, ignorance that they can. And I don't know, it's because it's the internet and you have a little bit of an anonymity and you can't just go punch someone in the face. But the thing is, if you're going to offer a negative criticism, you know, make it a criticism. You know, don't just be like, you're dumb or you're stupid, because that just makes you posting that, you're an idiot. You know, if you want to, you know, if you don't like the video, say why you didn't like it. I don't know if you get those kind of comments on the videos.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people that, like, literally they watch every single video and then they'll start, like, commenting that. I'll just use an example of a one that's come up recently, like, that I fire from the hip too often, and that I should be aiming down the sights. And people will get kind of vicious about it sometimes, and I'm like, whoa, look, man, just back off and let me play the game the way I want to play it. Like, I like firing from the hip. I'm trying to save stamina here, like...
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that it takes a lot of stamina to aim down the sights.
Yeah, I'm not just going to stand there looking down the sights when there's, like, 8 zombies sprinting at me, you know?
Right.
Just throw them all.
Especially when it's a bigger iron on his hip.
Yeah, right? So, that's just like a tame example. There's other things, especially around the 7 Days to Die Has Problems video of people just railing on the game, and sometimes you get accused of, like, being too clickbaity, and like, yeah, sometimes you gotta be a little clickbaity. I'm a YouTuber, okay? I need people to click on my videos, so I try not to be malicious about it, but, you know, that stuff's there.
You have to use what works, and that's what works on YouTube.
True. I mean, like I said before, this is a business for me, so I gotta play the game, right? Sometimes the game is getting people to click on the video. Do the best job you can to do that.
So I found those games that Joel and whatever had. They had a previous software company called 4D Rules, and they had 3 different titles: Patriots and Nation Under Fire, Secret Service, Security Breach, and Gore Ultimate Soldier. Just FYI.
Links or it didn't happen.
That's right.
It definitely works for other development companies too.
Go to LinkedIn and you find his profile.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen that I think it was on the Kickstarter, they advertised they were AAA devs on games like Duke Nukem Forever, and I was like, maybe you shouldn't be advertising that.
How much time do you spend working on content?
All the time, man. I'm fortunate I don't have, like, many other obligations right now outside of YouTube. I work part-time on Thursday and Friday, 10-hour days. So that was my full-time job. I've scaled back to part-time, and that's only temporary until February. And then I'm, like, 100% full-time on YouTube.
Nice.
But I pretty much am working on some aspect of the channel all waking hours of the day. It's fun, and it's exhausting sometimes, and sometimes I do need to just, like, call it and take a break. But it's like, I work on the channel because I like it, not because I have to, whereas, like, at my job, I work there not because I like it, but because I have to. So that's the difference. When you're doing it for yourself and for... it's not like a hobby, it's still a job for me, but it's a job that I really enjoy.
Can I just ask, at this moment in time, is it worth it?
Is it worth it to
actually pursue this as like a full-time career? I mean, are you happy enough? Do you get enough compensation? I'm not talking numbers, I'm just wondering, like, yeah, I can do this forever, or, oh my god, this is becoming a drag, or what?
It's a good question, because YouTube has only been, like, doing the content creator revenue sharing program for, what, like, less than 10 years? So there's not a big body of people who, like, do YouTube for a living. And, yeah, I do wonder, like, what's this going to be like in 10 years? Am I still going to be doing Let's Play videos, or am I going to have to evolve? And, you know, I have ideas of making a second channel and doing, like, history type of videos, like documentary type videos, and is that more of, like, a better long-term solution? So is it worth it? For me, it's definitely worth it. It's it's volatile, I would say. Like, I have a good month, or if I'm having a good month, I'm always wondering like, what's the next month going to be like? Is there going to be a big drop off? But fortunately, like month after month, things have improved for me. I think I'm on the right track, hopefully, but scary. So yeah, I do think it's worth it. It's a lot of work though. Like you can't, if you're just going to be like a casual content creator, you're probably not going to make it big, right? Because you're going to be going up against people who do take this very seriously, who put a lot of money into this, a lot of time. You're going to go up against people that have like professional backgrounds and educations in relevant topics. Like I don't, but there are people out there that are professional graphics artists that are making YouTube videos, and their thumbnails are like unreal good. And so I have to like try to make thumbnails that compete with that, or I might be going up against someone who was a professional editor or has some sort of digital media background. And so yeah, it's kind of like there's only so many view hours out there, right? There's only so many people watching YouTube, and if you want a piece of that pie, you're gonna have to work on like carving that out for yourself.
So, do you ever go to the YouTube and look for instructional videos or tutorials to up your editing game or your content creation?
All the time. All the time, yes. I'm always looking, like, when I'm doing a thumbnail and I need to try to figure out how to do, like, perspective text or something, I'll go to my YouTube, like, saved videos library, and I'll pull up, like, the videos from whoever that made the tutorial on that. I'll rewatch that, or if there's some transition that I see someone do, I'm like, damn, how did they do that? So I'll try looking up like how to do like flipping transitions or zooming transitions and stuff like that. And there I follow like vidIQ and Social Blade and things like other like YouTube. I don't know what you call them, like skill building websites, and they share a lot of videos on metrics and trends and what types of videos should you be making. And it's a constant learning process. You can't just stop learning and do the same thing, because I mean there's channels out there that you probably see on a day-to-day basis where they're just doing the same thing over and over again, and I don't want to be like that, right? I want to be the guy that's constantly growing and evolving and changing.
So obviously this is a job for you, even though you enjoy it. And stress comes with any kind of job or even hobby. So what do you do to try and mitigate your stress when you're just having like a rough day or something like that because of, your content creation?
Yeah, good question. Go hang out with the dogs, I guess. Something.
Now the important question is, what kind of dogs do you have?
I have greyhounds, two of them.
Oh, they're nice.
Aww, lazy dogs I've ever met.
Yes, very lazy. One of them's been very sick recently, so we're sad about that, but he's feeling better now.
How's the cat? Is she?
Oh, she's great. She's well, she must be like pretty much full grown now, but she's settled right in. She's a troublemaker though, for sure.
What are their names?
They're adopted, so they're retired racing greyhounds, and so they have their track names. So my 11-year-old boy is Diablo. His track name was Arkans Diablo, and then our 7-year-old girl is Ginger. Her race name was Oshkosh Jin. And then we have Mikasa, who's our cat, named after the Attack on Titan character.
Oh, cute.
Yes, we were very animal positive here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the cat's pretty Twitter famous too, right?
She was, yeah, for a little while, which is a kitten. But yeah, so in terms of stress, like, I think the thing that stresses me out the most, honestly, is
doing interviews like this.
I would say comments are stressful, because I try to be there for the commenters and respond, but there's a large volume at this point of commenters, and I try to not spend too much time going through them and responding, and as much as I wish I could. It's just you've got to delegate your time. Another thing that's stressful is just I'm trying to make content on a schedule now, and there's a lot of other parts to the job other than the content at this point. And there's the multiplayer servers, there's the Discord, there's Twitter, there's my community page, and there's only so much time for me to like delegate to every one of those things, and so it's it's a huge value to me to have people like Bad Player and Mikey and Crab Clown Jimmy and Beneficial Gaming who really help out on the Discord, and BP who's kind of keeping up on the multiplayer server, and Smoky Llama who's helping out on who hosts the Undead Legacy server. So definitely helps to have a good support team.
Yes, I know exactly what that's like. You know, my staff here is the best, and I couldn't actually I couldn't run this Discord without them.
Thank you.
So.
Thanks.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I just like helping.
Yeah.
You know,
Same.
I can tell them if I ever hit that big lotto, they will all get a nice gift from me.
Yes.
A cool sticker, huh?
Oh, I figured I'd get you out of that apartment into a house.
Well, I wouldn't mind that, but I've decided I'm going to purchase land and have a gaming commune. Some people have hippie communes. I'm having a gaming commune. That's my goal.
And I'll be there. I'll be
Yeah,
there.
yes.
In teepees?
Yurts is what we do around here.
Yurts? Yep.
Yeah. They're a little bit more warmer, as it were.
Well,
They're about the same thing, though.
She's on the West Coast, so
West Coast, best coast.
As long as it's waterproof, I think she's okay.
Yeah, it is. But we've got flood warnings. I like it when I get flood warnings. I'm like, I live on an island. How does that happen?
Because you're surrounded by water. That's how that happens.
The amount of water you'd have to dump into Lake Washington for it to flood here is a little insane.
So, Emma, will you be playing CP again when CP49 drops?
Combo pack, yep.
Is that coming out soon?
It will be after A21 because when they put the new blocks in, we're going to have to update every single POI.
Oh yeah.
Everything. So it'll come out later than A21. But
I'll definitely play it. I'm playing the next series that's coming up, like this Saturday, will also feature the compo pack again.
will it? Oh, excellent.
If you need help with that, we know people.
The biggest thing is the compo pack is outstanding. There's just a lot in it, and not all of it are things that I necessarily want in my playthrough personally. So there's a lot of cherry picking that has to go on there.
Some excellent new builds coming up here, isn't there, to comment?
Oh, for sure.
In 49.
Been keeping an eye on the work in progress channel over there.
Oh, there's some fun stuff. People are so talented.
Who was working on the airport?
Which one?
Someone was doing
Stallions.
Stallions working on an airport.
Yes, that's the one I think dedicated to Paco, I think.
Yeah.
I don't trust anything made by Stallion's Den because
Dude,
with good reason.
Let me tell you, I'm going to go back to Alpha 15 or 16 on this one. Stallion made this casino. All right, it was fucking huge, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great, until my guy walked up to it and I got 1 frame per second. I'm like, I can't go with this. I would love to have this on my server, but I can't walk. Now, this is before they redid random world generation, and what happened was when you went into a new section, it's when it generated. So now when you do a map, everything is pre-generated. All right, so the first time you log onto the server, it downloads the map and whatever other files it needs to for the server. Back then, it generated as you went. So the mini bike back then was a graphical speed boost, because sometimes you would see your little character's feet move. So all they did with the mini bike is basically it was a speed boost with a graphical interface overlay, and you could go so fast on the mini bike that the world was not loaded when you hit it. So you would see it load as you're going, and you're like, well, I've already passed that a quarter mile ago, but now it's loading. So one of the things they did, I think it was Alpha 17, is when they changed how the world generated. So now it pre-generates and then downloads versus generating as you go. because there's plenty of times I'm riding and you would get the bare minimum of graphic. Like you're in a desert biome and the ground's yellow. It's not quite sand. So
Yeah, I've heard that the map would just keep generating the further you went. Like, you
yes,
could just go forever in one direction.
yes.
I wish that was still a part of the game, because I would love to do like a Nomad playthrough where you just like kept going.
It's so.
It wasn't forever. You did have to, you know.
There was a border. There was a border. You still determine your map size, and then
far out, but
right. But the edge of the border, the closer you got to it, the more the camera would shake, and it was radiation.
Oh,
so
cool.
much. On my server, back when the maps were round, I had at least at one time or another, I had up to 30 kilometers out on each side, so it was 60K from side to side. It's huge. But yeah, if you get on the edges, your arms are all shaking around. Your reticule was in the same spot, so that was fine. It was just visually disorienting.
Yeah, it's like you were stroking out.
Yeah, I used to always build out there because nobody else liked to play.
Yeah, so I mean, I would suggest even if you're not making the content for your channel and you just want to try the older versions, I would, I think 15 and 16 were among my favorite of the older versions.
16 was great.
Yeah, what I miss from 15 or 16, they had sliding jail doors.
Mm-hmm.
So they would open and close, but they got rid of them.
Oh.
And that was very disappointing to me.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to mod.
Yeah, the behemoth back then too.
They're still in the game. You just have to re-enable them.
Right.
Yeah.
What did they just comment it out?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll share it over after.
Yeah, if you could just let me know like whereabouts the XML to search, I would love to re-enable the sliding jail doors because I always got a kick out of them. Let's see.
How fine a balance is it to keep subscribers engaged?
Not. I don't know. That's a tricky question to answer. It's something that I'm constantly focused on, I guess. I've actually been trying to pay attention recently whether comments on a video actually because you always hear like comment and subscribe, and I've always tried to not be like that, but then sometimes recently I've been like please like and subscribe or see if that makes any difference, and I don't really think that it does. I don't think that likes on a video increase its reach, or that comments on a video increase its reach, or I don't know. So I'm trying to utilize all tools at my disposal. So that means like streaming content, like videos, shorts, and community tab. So whether that's helping or not, I don't really know. And then I do try to sometimes like engage people in a video, like leave a comment if you think this or whatever. So I don't know the answer to that. I don't personally at where I am right now in terms of like my view counts, I don't think it makes a huge difference. So it's not something I'm really like pushing for, like more community stuff.
Now, most of your videos are playthroughs?
About 75%, yes.
So what's the other 25%?
Like game news, tutorials, how-to, base builds, other games, stuff like that.
Now, have you ever thought of doing like a show series? Like, has that ever crossed your mind? Like a la Red versus Blue?
You'd have to explain more. I'm not sure what you're.
Oh, you've never
referring
seen
to
Red
there.
versus Blue?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I don't know if they're still making them, but I forget the what was it? Yes, Halo. What was it? Red Rooster? What was it? Rooster
Tooth.
Rooster Tooth. Yeah. So they set up Xboxes and they recorded it would be like a TV show, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes here or there, and they would go through a season, but it was all done in the game. So like they used Halo, and then it would just. I assume it was a scripted show. I don't know if it was scripted or they just did improv, but if you can check it out, and then you're kind of getting an idea. But basically, it was I would call it a web series. Have you ever thought of maybe going that route?
Definitely, I've considered it. The production time and energy that would go into something like that is immense, and so you would definitely have to make some decisions as a YouTuber where your time is better spent. It's a business decision. So if I'm going to spend a week making one video, would it be more beneficial for me in terms of views and reach and growth, channel growth, and to just make like 3 videos instead and use that week to make more videos? So I don't predict that if I did a 7 Days to Die show that I would get the kind of views and support on it that I would need in order to justify the time investment, I guess is what I would say.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
As much as I would like to do, and on that same vein, like I have a script written for a 7 Days to Die movie, and I'm waiting for Bandits in order to start filming that, and that's something that I want to pull in, like as many other content creators as are willing to do it in order to make like a really big, nice community project. But that's going to be a 1 video thing. As much as I can, I really am making a shift on my channel to get away from series content and doing more just like single video content, because the drop off from an episode 1 to an episode 5 is like 400% if you're lucky. So yeah, it's rough, and that's the same for all of us, whether that's Glock or me, Jawoodle, or even smaller YouTubers that get with like less than 100 subscribers. It's always the same. Episode 1 does well, episode 2 does much worse, and then it's just downhill from there, and things usually level off at episode 5 or 10 or something in that range.
Yeah, so I guess it's it's really like even a television series, or
probably, yeah,
or like a YouTube TV series. However, you got to keep your people engaged, and then they're big production companies, actors, and you're one person. So I guess like you said, the time management. Well, I could do the series. Do I want to do 3, a 5, or just a one-off video?
One-off is like definitely where I want to go. It's hard to do one-off videos in 7 days though, because it takes like so long to do anything. Like I really want to do like 100 days in 7 Days to Die, but that's a 100-hour time commitment to just recording, let alone the editing process on that. So you see those videos for like Arc, and someone has done there. I just saw recently someone did a 100 days and 7 Days to Die, and last I checked, it had a couple thousand views, and which was good for this very small YouTuber. But like for me, that video would have to get like 1 million views in order to like justify that time commitment, and I just don't think it would. So I don't know if that's something I'll ever do.
Would you think of doing on the CP every so often? It's a mega rumble, we call it, where the prefabbers, we get together and we go in and we tackle a massive tier 5 POI. Would you think of doing something like that with other content?
Like a battle royale?
Yeah, because we have a really good laugh doing it. Yeah, and it gets a bit crazy at times. But it's just going in and just taking on. If you could get like, I don't know, Jawoodle do, but say Glock or I don't know, somebody, Neebs, whatever, and just say, right, we're going to take on this big POI. Let's all just get together and do maybe once a month or something.
I would definitely be up for that. I do have a collaboration that's coming this month, so I want to do that more. Collaborations are difficult, so I learned that when we were doing the Totally Not Prepared live stream series, where no one was really on at the same time, so that we all have our own schedules and stuff. So that's one challenge. Another challenge is just getting people to agree to it. Like I'm willing, I would pretty much do a collab with anyone, as long as I thought that there was going to be some chemistry and like a good concept there. But I've reached out to some people before and I've not gotten a yes on that, so there's that too. I don't want to like drop names, but
be up for that, definitely.
Dude, come to the CP channel, join our mega events. You're always welcome, mate.
Yeah, so speaking of like one thing on my to-do list right now is like going to in Undead Legacy, doing the go-kart track and doing like a go-kart track death race. So
that would be
it's kind of in that same vein. Like that's gonna come pretty soon. I got the thumbnail done for it already, so
that'll be good.
But yeah, just add me on that channel, and if I'm free, I'd be happy to do that.
Got several of us frantically looking for the invite button.
on there? Have you never been on the CP channel?
Don't think so.
Oh.
Oh yes, I used to.
Yeah, I could
Maybe
have sworn I
oh
seen
yes,
your
no, I
name on
am.
there.
Yeah, Magley's comp.
Mm.
It's just muted because there's like a
Yeah.
lot of chatter that comes from that channel.
Yes.
That's
I
like
thought you
most
were.
of my
I thought I'd
Discords.
seen your name.
I
Yeah,
have
but we
us
do
every
have a laugh.
muted.
That would be fun.
Did you guys ask about, is it easy to lose subscribers?
To lose? I don't know. I don't. Maybe. I lost one subscriber recently. Like, no, like, because it's hard to track that. Because like every day I get like, I think my average is like 120, and in the last like 2 weeks it's been like 250 a day. So, it doesn't really show up on my analytics really if I'm losing subs.
Right. Yeah,
There are
'cause you're just
definitely
seeing a
months
net
where I'm
gain.
like that are very dry, so I might get like 40 or 60 subs a day for a week or two, and that's when I'm like, what's going on? You know, where are my viewers? What are they doing? What are they watching? How much are they watching me? Are they clicking? Are they staying? What's my retention numbers? What am I posting for content? What do I need to do to fix this? And so that was like August for me, and September, and then October was like seeing this trend like going down, and I was like, okay, I need to do something different. And so like at the beginning of October, I started like, I have a calendar now and I schedule all of my videos. So I know what's coming up, and I sprinkle in videos that I think will have good view numbers and have good outreach to new viewers, and I sprinkle them in at intervals that I think will kind of like buoy my channel if I'm in a slump. So, you know, whether that's going to work or not. It's working now. So like November is my best month ever. December will be my best month ever again. So just going to keep at that for a while, see how it goes.
Of all the aspects required to garner view attention, what's the most important? Thumbnail, content type, sexy radio voice?
Wait, what's the question again? Of all the
aspects required to garner view attention.
Okay. It's all of it. Yeah, I mean, you can have a great thumbnail and a title, but if people click onto it and they see that it's not what they were expecting, or that like quality doesn't kind of match up, then they're not going to watch it, and your retention is going to be down, and that's going to drive down your analytics. So, I mean, thumbnail and title are super duper important. Like, in my opinion, probably one of the most important things, and it's something I need to focus more on probably. But the content also has to be good as well. And I think probably the most important thing to retain viewer attention is you got to do something different. You can't do what everyone else is doing unless you do it like really, really well. There's two types of YouTubers, in my opinion. There's
audio just
YouTubers.
dropped
So
out. DNS, I just heard the audio drop out.
sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah.
But you were giving the answer and it dropped out.
Oh, my bad. So might be my microphone. So anyway, I was talking about two types of YouTubers. You have entertainers, you have educators. And so, you know, pick one or do both. But if you're not doing something that's, you know, either one of those and you're not doing it well, then I don't think you'll stand out amongst a sea of other creators.
On that, Tim, do you think it's brought you? I don't know how to put this. Made you more confident in it, because I've watched everything that you've done. From when you very first started, you were talking very like quietly, whereas now you're guns, nerds, and steel, and it's really good and entertaining. And over the 2 years you've been doing it, do you feel that it's made you more? Well, obviously, it's made you more competent as a creator, but it's brought you more out of yourself doing it.
I do. And some of that's practice and like listening to myself and being like, oh God, so bad. Like someone posted on Twitter. Oh no, it was on Reddit. Someone posted a question like, oh, you know, I need help building bases and I don't know what I'm doing. And someone posted my video horde base hoo-ha-ha. I clicked on the
love
link
that.
and I listened to it for about 5 seconds, and I was just like, no, go away. Because there's been like, a back and forth, because like you started off and I was like a little bit timid and I wasn't confident. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I was like, wow, I really need to inject more energy into my videos. And then I was like, well, maybe not that much. And I had to kind of pull it back. And so I'm always kind of going back and forth and saying like, am I doing too much? Because I don't want to be that guy that's like cringy and, too hyper. But I also want to, be energetic and not be boring and not just kind of like be monotonous and drone on. And so, and part of my, I think, confidence comes from my job too, because I work a lot with people, and it's my first kind of position in that sort of a role. So I guess I pulled some like, I've developed that skill both in like my personal life and my professional life, and brought that to my YouTube channel.
Because it was great watching it from when you began. It was
Yes,
really
quite a progression.
and it was literally, you could see it, with your next content and then your next content, it was coming out more and more.
Yeah, I think I probably leveled off somewhere during the road, getting comfortable with it. So it probably took like a good 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got the nail on the head now, though.
Thanks.
Do you think there should be more special zombies, and what ideas do you have for special zombies?
Oh, anything. Just like with my mod, I have like the mutant wave, which is all special zombies. And having just filmed it, it's so fun to just have like cops everywhere and demos everywhere and spiders everywhere and like the mutated zombie. Because they're all like, they're not just like regular zombies that are just there for you to kill, right? They're actually like fighting back, kind of. So I think more special zombies, like they've teased like special variants of zombies that have weapons. Like there's that concept art out there of the lumberjack carrying a fire axe. I think that would be so cool to have a zombie with a weapon like that. I'm looking forward to bandits. I think those will be fun to fight against. Pre-built had this idea once that there should be a zombie that specializes against hatches and doors. And I think that's a great idea to kind of, I hate to say it, but nerf that play style where you just put a hatch in the door and you're good.
Right.
Yeah,
a carpenter zombie.
Burning zombies, I think, should be able to catch things on fire, or at least catch the player on fire. I think that'd be nice, or have like some immunity to fire as well.
Can't that happen already?
I don't know. Can the burn zombie catch you on fire?
They have a buff. It doesn't really actually burn, though. It doesn't show any effect.
Oh. I don't know. You guys have any ideas for special zombies?
Oh, yes.
We have. Yeah.
I threw a vending machine on Steve. People seem to love that.
A vending machine on Steve?
Yeah.
Working vending machine?
Well, no, it's not a working one, but probably do that.
Can I wrench it?
You actually are able to wrench his body afterwards and get stuff from him.
That's pretty funny.
So
I guess Joel has a bunch of special infected that he has planned out. Like he's done the art for and done like the concept stats and stuff for, but they just haven't had the time to implement them, according to freaking Joel. So
that might come in beta too.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are past our normal end time. I'm going to keep going. I just don't know what your schedule's like today, GNS.
No, I'm good. If you got a few more questions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do you or have you wanted to build your own POIs?
I would love to. I just don't think I'm not good at it, because that's a skill that you have to kind of develop.
That is a lie. Look at your
I'm good at
bases.
making like fighting bases, but because if you make a POI, like it's you want to make it like run down and kind of like post-apocalyptic, which is not something I've ever like practiced doing before. So I'd have to work
It's a
on
lot
that.
of work.
Yeah. And kind of on that end, like, would it be worth it? I think probably someday I'll make like at least one POI, like a tier 4, tier 5, that I can just call my own. But I don't see myself like investing tons of time into just, continuously doing that.
You can put in the CP then.
Yeah, because like, Genosis and Not a Gamer Gaming, they have like a couple, I think, the Asylum
Yeah.
being the one that I know of for sure. And it's just cool to like do the compo pack and be like, yes, I'm in Genosis's like creation. So
It's even cooler when you've built one and a content creator does it.
Oh yeah.
all right, because you've done like the pyramids that I did a
Yeah.
lot in the Undead Legacy series, which are crazy.
Yeah. I think one of the funniest things was when you did the ziggurat and you walked into the room and there was a bear. The bear just spawned in. It was like, oh, that's a bear. I was laughing my head off.
Like I remembered he was there too, but then it's like you don't expect the whole wall to fall down.
Oh yeah, yeah. Got that went in after A20 dropped. It was like I've got to use these, so
Oh,
the whole wall had to go.
yeah, that's cool.
That's being updated now as well. So
Just to let you know, Z-Bark is one of the few people who actually has a section of a map named after Z-Town. She has that many POIs in it.
Oh wow.
She's quite
No, I think I was looking through the compo pack and there were a bunch of Z-Bark POIs. I was like, whoa, so many of them.
yeah, working on a new temple as well, but that'll probably be out when it goes gold.
Is it the Temple of Doom?
It would be a
might as well
temple
be.
of death.
You
Absolute
laugh,
death.
but there's something close.
I want to have like a dungeon style bandit layer where it's like you have to go in and then instead of spawning zombies, it spawns bandits that will like fight back at you.
Yeah.
I am sad they got pushed back to 21.
Just to mention, before we mentioned the mega events on the CP channel, we also have a competition called the Fab-Off, where two people go head to head to build a certain type of POI, small one, in a time limit, and then it gets sent to a judge. Just for instance, yesterday I went against Takama and she obliterated me.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
No.
So you've got to come and join it. It's great fun.
They're fun, yeah.
I'd like to see them and see how they come out. How two different people would interpret one different prompt.
And having the timing constraint, that's the hardest part.
2-hour limit.
Because they look like
2
absolute
hours.
shite if you are like used to having lots of time. Like, oh, make it beautiful, and then watching somebody try to get it done in 2 hours is scary.
I mean, mine from when did I do it? Friday night.
God, was it?
I've only just finished updating it.
Oh jeez. At least you go back.
Yeah.
I'm like done. Don't care.
All right, I've got to bail. GNS, it was great speaking to you, mate, and I hope my questions weren't too taxing.
No, my pleasure, man.
All right, I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.
Good. Cheers.
Would you would you ever do a video that highlights random multiplayer servers?
Ooh. I don't know. I think probably not. That's something that I don't think would be like high traffic, very like interesting. But I've wanted to do like a PvP video, which would of course have to be on a server. So I guess that's probably the closest I'd get to it. That or maybe live streaming. If I was live streaming on someone else's server, I would definitely shout it out.
I'm trying to think of another good question. Questions are over now, but
We got through them all. Wow.
what was one of the questions from your interview? Would you answer? Would you drink from the toilet or?
Oh, okay. Okay, so what was it? 50 chicken-sized Arlenes versus 1 Arlene-sized chicken. I'm going with the Arlene-sized chicken all the way because chickens are like dinosaurs, right? And if they were actually dinosaur-sized, they would kill us.
So what you're saying is you want dinosaurs in the game.
Confirmed, yeah.
All right. I don't think Guppy's listening, but we'll have to drop that in the Discord over there. See if someone wants to add some dinos.
You know, if there was a 7 Days to Die style of game, or if it was just 7 Days to Die, but it wasn't zombies and it was like insects from Starship Troopers,
You
my
mentioned
favorite game of all time.
You
That'd be the
mentioned
best game.
Starship Troopers, but they're coming out with a Starship Troopers game if you haven't seen.
I have seen, and I'm very interested in it.
My buddy,
First-person Starship Troopers survival game on Clendathu would be like just the best.
yeah, back in the
Sorry,
day,
just downloaded that game last night.
Yeah, back in the day, my buddy was in high school and he was taking Pascal, and it was a C++. No, this was a C++ one, and he had to come up with some type of project. So, this is, what, mid '90s, and I helped him out. We made a little down-scrolling Starship Troopers game. So. I don't know how old you are, but if you remember Gunsmoke on the old NES, the bugs would just come at you, but we had he had a code to make them move and stuff like that. So we've come a long way since then, but it's not the first Starship Trooper games. It's just the official one.
Such a great universe to build a game in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of great universes you could build games into. It's just that finding the audience for it as well. It's like
Has to be done right.
Yeah, like Stargate. They were. I don't know if you're into sci-fi or anything besides Starship Troopers, but Stargate, when they had the movie and they had SG-1, they were talking about making an MMO, but it never happened. And I think that's one of the universes where if you did a survival game with Stargate, where it would kind of work like what's that space game, Empyrean, where you could you go to different planets, but instead of a ship you use the gate.
It'd be like Nightingale, only like Nightingale's in 1899.
Yeah, but sci-fi, like modern day sci-fi. And I know there's still a lot of Stargate fans out there. I think that might do pretty well if you did it as a survival RPG type thing, and you can explore different worlds, and it just fires up a new planet, from the server as you gate there.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been far too long, and we need to be able to shoot an alien with a P90.
Yes.
Like Perfect Dark.
Zombies.
I think the era of zombies is ending. Walking Dead just had its series finale. It's 11 seasons. I stopped watching in season 7, but
yeah, I stopped watching when they killed off certain people.
I watched it to the end.
Yeah, I did too.
I'll admit
It was good.
So since it ended, what happened in the last episode?
No spoilers. I haven't seen the end.
Okay, never mind then.
It's a good ending, I'll say.
No. La. Okay.
Like right now, like zombie wise, I'm watching iZombie. I never watched it when it first
I've seen
aired,
that one too.
and I'm like,
Z Nation. Watch Z Nation.
I don't know if
That was good too.
I don't know if I'm gonna go, full zombie again. It's more of like I was dog sitting for my aunt at her house, and there's no room for me to take my rig up there to play games. So I'm like, all right, I need something to do. So I pretty much watched Plex and Netflix, like the week I was up there, and I'm like, I need something else to watch, So it's like, oh, all right, here's iZombie. I'll watch that, and I'm almost to it. I'm in season 4 somewhere. So I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good, because I watch Ghosts. I like Rose McIver, so I figured I'd check it out. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's cute.
Now I'm waiting for the Supernatural MMO. That'll never happen, but I think they'll make tons of money.
Oh, Supernatural, love that program.
Yeah, I watched it from the very beginning back in 2005.
Yeah. I never saw the last one though because COVID kicked in, and they stopped recording, didn't they?
No, they finished it with season 15.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Just haven't seen it.
Well, you better get on that.
I need to get on that.
They're gonna release a prequel, Supernatural. So.
It's already out. It's
it's like
up,
6 episodes in, 7 episodes in.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I'll look up.
Yeah, it's with the parents.
Mom and dad.
Yeah, the mom and dad. You know, when they first met and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting.
It's called The Winchesters.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles, him and his wife started a production company, and they're the ones making it.
Okay.
And if you need some more Sammy, you can watch Walker. It's a similar, you know, sensitive character.
Sammy.
Thanks. I'll look out for that.
So I think that's it for the questions. Thank you, Temreki, for coming.
Absolutely.
Yes, we appreciate you, you know, spending your time with us this morning and now afternoon. I think this is another good show we had. You know, sometimes I don't feel the quality of the show is as good as others, but this is definitely, I think, one of our better. I think it's up there with the Guppy Kerr show.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait, there's a Guppy Kerr show?
Yeah, this is news to me. I didn't know there was.
We had one for
Josh, you
episode
were here for it.
Oh.
I thought you meant Guppy Kerr had his own podcast.
No. When we had him as a guest. Sorry, I should have clarified. No. Yeah, I think
That's better.
I think that show might be a train wreck.
For the record, this one is our most viewed one. Well, first, most simultaneously viewing, especially if you count all the people that are actually on YouTube chatting as well.
Yes. Well, you know, when you have, you know, 60,000 YouTube subscribers, you know, that'll tend to have an influx, and, you know, definitely appreciate that because that gives us some exposure. You know, I know the Discord and the show is all about running and adminning a server, but we like to have the guests on to touch on other aspects of the game as well.
We get a lot of people asking about this kind of stuff. That's why it's super helpful to know, because, you know, people want to have their servers and they want to be content creators and they want to do this. So having somebody that can actually address some of the questions, like, oh, you know, one question I didn't ask, what software do you use to do your editing?
Oh, I meant to ask that earlier too.
Yeah, I use Premiere Pro, and I use pretty much all the other Adobe products as well, which, you know, it's pricey, but
I love Adobe.
yeah, I don't know.
I get it through my work, so
what
I
I
don't have to pay for
learned how to do. There you go.
I've been using.
Looking back, I could have used anything else, but it's just the one I picked. I didn't know anything back at the time, so.
Well, you know what? Premiere is, you know, one of the top programs. So I mean, you know, pricey, but you chose well. Yeah. You know, we just.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So.
I like the vertical integration with the other, you know, properties, so that I can take my tablet and use Fresco to draw something really quickly by hand, throw it in, you know, Photoshop or Illustrator, and then bring that into Premiere and animate it.
Yeah, that's the next step for me, is to get like a nice big tablet so that I can do a lot of my photoshopping on a tablet, so I can more like free draw more easily. So looking into that.
It super helps. The Surface Pro is great because you can use the mouse and the touchscreen at the same time.
Oh yeah. Maybe next year. Figure out my my investments for next year, because pretty much my computer's good now, but always looking to kind of improve the setup. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. So just let me know.
I'm sorry that I was late to the party.
You can check it out on YouTube.
Watch it, yeah.
Yeah, you can go back. You know, give it a few days, and Naz will have the topics down by time.
Yeah, just let me know if you have any other questions that come up along the way, and I'll be happy to like respond.
Sure.
Either Discord or YouTube.
I guess we'll. Unless there's any other questions, I guess we'll wrap it up here. You know, we wow, almost 2 hours.
Over, yeah.
Yeah, and we started 15 minutes late, so you know, we definitely got a full show out of this one.
We just say hello to Dolly before we go.
Yes, hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
I don't know why she's on the
Hey.
Discord, isn't she?
Oh,
there
yeah,
she
she's
is.
listening right now.
Yeah, I see her now.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who joined us in the Discord and on YouTube for questions and whatnot. You know, that always makes me feel warm and fuzzy, and it's not the booze. It makes doing the show worth it when we know we have people that listen. You know, as Guns can attribute to 60,000 subscribers. You know, this is his job. You know, it's always nice to see a new subscriber or interaction from the community.
For sure.
So, with that, we'll end it on this December episode, the last one of 2022. So, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and whatever other holidays I might be missing out on. And also have a Happy New Year from us here at 70AC. And, we look forward to our next show in January.
Fingers crossed.
And as always, feel free to drop by the Discord, and if you have, questions, need help, or suggestions for the next brain drain, we're always listening for that. We want to know what you guys want us to talk about, and you guys can come interact and ask questions about. So, thanks for showing up.
No problem. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
It was fun.
It was. Have fun.
See you. Bye.
Yeah.
See
Thanks,
ya.
guys.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.